John was working in his science lab, got blasted by gamma rays. Now he's Smash Trivia John, always smashing. He's friends with Ruffalo, crushing on Maslany, and also Sydney Sweeney. John's here saying, hello my gamma friends, welcome to the show, the Gamma Analysis Podcast.
Smash.
Hello, my Gamma friends. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Smash Trivia John. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram by searching Smash Trivia. I'll be on with the big old green head in the profile picture. And you can also check out my other podcast, Creepy and Kooky, a Wednesday Addams podcast where my friend Lilith the Librarian and I talk about the Wednesday TV show and all things Addams Family. But this here is the Gamma Analysis. Basically, I'm gonna review everything Hulk on the movies, TV shows, and I also do random other geeky films. Hope you enjoy. Smash Trivia presents the Gamma Analysis. I want to ask everyone listening to please do time for me. Please share the hell out of this podcast with all your friends. If you don't, Hulk will be angry. Now let's smash right into this episode. Today's episode is a review of the 70s Incredible Hulk TV show, Season 2, Episode 13, titled Like a Brother, with Keith. Keith, how are you doing, Keith?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you doing?
Doing good. This episode had a lot of fun with. I thought it was. I thought it was surprisingly well done for an episode from the 70s. Is that had
with all likely white writers.
Yeah, most likely.
But hell of a good cast, though. My God, not only do you have like Ernie Hudson, but also the guy playing Taylor George is Tony Burton, who was Apollo Creed's trainer in the Rocky movies. He's awesome.
Nice.
He's been a lot of stuff.
Signing with Ernie Hudson, I find really fun is so this is now the third green themed geeky thing that I've seen him in, and as obviously Ghostbusters, but he also made an appearance in Arrow. So
it
makes me wonder if he
play an Arrow.
Diggle's father.
Oh shit! Wow,
Yeah.
That's a good get.
Yeah, that was. But I'm like, it makes me wonder: does Ernie Hudson have an affinity towards wanting to be in projects with eggs that are green and very geeky?
I think if you were to have asked, if superhero stuff was to be as popular in the 70s when he looked like this, like he does in this show, he could have easily been like, you name it, any superhero. He had the physique, he had the charm.
Mm-hmm.
He's a cool dude. I love Ernie Hudson, and I rarely get to see him play a bad guy, so this is kind of fun.
Yeah. His boss in this episode. Every time I saw him, because of like his facial hair, he reminds me so much of Luke Cage.
Oh yeah, true. Taylor George.
The facial hair, the shape of his head is just like feels very Luke Cage like, especially at the end of his show when Luke Cage literally becomes a mob boss.
Yeah, true. Damn, I didn't think about that, but you're right. I'm looking at pictures of Taylor George now, and he's a dead ringer. He looks like he could play his dad. That's awesome. That sweet goatee.
I think this I think they did a pretty good job with this episode because I feel like a lot of shows from this time probably would have just treated all the black characters as bad and not just not having a nuance to that and be like, no, there's just this guy who's bad, but most of these people aren't.
Mm-hmm. It has the very Sesame Street approach where it's like, people live next to each other. This is a black neighborhood, obviously going through black neighborhood troubles with the whole fact that he's being tempted into crime because he can't afford, the medicine for his brother. But this is a really empathetic way to get into that mindset and have viewers see a culture that they're not used to seeing through watching a fucking Hulk show. Like this,
And I think
that's great.
and even with the characters who are villains, I do think that this mob boss, I do think there is a part of them that actually cares about these people. It feels to me like
Yeah.
there is a part of him that it does care about them, and wants to help them, and yes, he wants to he wants to use this guy as a fall guy, but like as he said, he's like he made a point to say how he's only gonna get a couple months on reform school. Like it seems to me like he does like he definitely doesn't want this guy to be going to prison for a long time or something.
Yeah,
For
I
him.
think he's clearly doing it out of his own self-interest, but at the same time, he's like he's not completely heartless. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't, it's not just about
I think
self-preservation.
it's
It is a
kind
little
of
bit more.
I have a situation where he kind of I sees himself maybe as like a father figure to these people.
Yeah,
I could see
yeah.
that
And
that being the case.
that's what makes some of the most charismatic mob bosses is
Mm-hmm.
those father figure ones. Because man, when he comes over to the apartment, him and Lee, which is Ernie Hudson's character, the Taylor George and Lee come over, and I think what's the name of the main character guy that has the little brother? Is it it's not Danny. Bobby. Is it Bobby?
Maybe
No, Bobby's the kid.
I'm
Bobby's the
not
little kid.
sure.
Hang on. I watched this a few days ago now. I'm trying to remember. And in my notes, it will Mike. Mike is
Right.
the name of the older brother. So, first of all, hilarious that Mike is supposed to be 16. This is a 23-year-old man playing a 16-year-old. But him coming over and being like, I've done all this stuff for you. I've taken care of you, haven't I? Like really laying on the guilt thick.
Mhm.
But also like he's ingratiated himself with Mike. Mike, look, you hear the way him talking about Taylor George at the very beginning of the episode before he finds out that David's a medic or has been a medic, air quotes, in the past. He's like nobody talks about Taylor George that way. He's my guy and everything. And then you find out he's a medic, and suddenly he's like, "Oh, can you come over for dinner? Can we be friends?" it's like, yeah, if only Taylor George had a medic's license or degree.
Oh man, he wants him for his medic skills, but he doesn't want to tell him that his little brother has diabetes.
Yeah, it's a little. Mike's
Like,
not playing with a full deck. He annoyed me several times during this episode.
yeah, I think this is like such a hard situation, for like for both for Mike and his little brother and for David, because he has is you know David has to weigh this the whether or not he should let the authorities know, because
Yeah,
but we all know the foster system is pretty awful, but also at the same time, I'm Mike probably can't just raise him himself.
no, and
It's
especially
really
not if
hard.
he's going to reform school for dropping off a bomb. He's got to think with his head, dang it. And I don't know how the hell they solve the problem at the end of this episode. I don't know how he's able to get the medication he needs afterwards, but it's like you caught the
Yeah,
bad guy. Now who's funding the meds?
yeah.
Interesting.
I maybe I'm wrong, but I think I think that what they're saying by the end is that they did end up having to do like the foster system or something, because I don't see there being any way that he would have been able to
Yeah.
without out Taylor George, or you know of a more fun side to this episode. The Hulk outs in this episode were very fun. On though with the first one, I kind of wish that he was covered in soap when Hulk came out. I think that would have been hilarious.
I did wonder as I knew when he was going to transform, obviously you could tell, but it's like how the hell are they going to have the paint be wet? The paint on Lou Ferrigno's body is going to have to be glistening in some way, and then it came out dry.
I didn't expect that somehow he was just gonna come out of the engine or
That was insane.
under
He
the
just
hood. I'm like,
popped out
okay,
like a Jack in the Box. Like, oh, let me move this engine out of my way. Yeah, that was amazing. That was honestly, I was surprised, since one of like the first shots in the episode is one of them going in to do the interior detailing of Taylor George's car, and there's the Black Panther in the back, and you're like, oh, are we gonna get a scene where he just chucks a Black Panther into the sky? Like, is this gonna be like a stuffed panther being thrown away? But no, they never. He cowers in the bathroom. He like scares the panther into behind the sink, and then you never have to see any animal cruelty. Not that Hulk would.
Not that Hulk would, even though he's thrown a bear before.
Well, the bear had it coming. That's a dangerous predator. Poor little kitty cat. Don't want to see that. But the what did you think of the choice of Ernie Hudson's character during the second Hulk out in the club to climb up scaffolding instead of exit the building?
Yeah, that was funny.
It just makes me laugh anytime that a character does something that is purely for our joy of the Hulk out. Like, he's gonna rip down this scaffolding and dive over onto a chandelier, and I'm like, okay, well that's clearly why you decided this was the best way out.
When that was happening, I was saying, like, is bro trying to be think he's Mario right now? Oh my god. No, it's funny. One joke that I thought was funny in the episode is when someone saw Hawk, and they said, "Now that's what I call a colored man."
Yes. Oh my god, that line. I did not see that line coming. It's so simple, it's so brilliant, and the way that it was delivered is so fucking good. That made me laugh really hard. They got some good, like, the good cat. Like, I love the friend DJ, I think, says that one. He's kind of like the funny one who gets his wrist hurt at the beginning. But yeah, they got like a great little cast of characters. But you mentioned that you've seen a couple different versions of it. Did you find this episode cut around a lot? Like, there were certain conversations that seemed in weird places or ended abruptly. It was just, they had two guys sitting in the car, and then they're like deciding still whether or not to go to Taylor George's, and then it's like a conversation they didn't need to have.
Maybe this is something maybe I just wasn't paying enough attention, but but right when they get to the club, and the one guy is saying how he can't go in because he's because of his parole.
He's got priors, yeah.
The other guy says that he made this whole big speech about about going in and doing this. I don't remember seeing a speech happen.
It was like that same guy. So it was Oscar and DJ are in the front of the car, and David's in the back, being quiet as a church, as a mouse in a church, or whatever the phrase is. But the two guys in the front are like, man, it seems like Taylor George, but at the same time, it's Mike. But it is Taylor George, and it's like, is that the speech he was talking about?
I don't think I saw that scene in the car. I don't remember any scene of them being in the car.
I'm not surprised. They probably cut it for time. Because there's like two guys in the front arguing about whether they should or shouldn't go, but they're already in the car, and David is in the back, and it's like, can we step on it? Like, we're already late. There's a bomb involved.
No, you keep saying a bomb. I was thinking it was like he was just sending him over with some drugs, and hoping that the reverend would call the police on him.
No, it's they asked him to drop off a bomb.
I didn't hear the
because I think Lee, they talk about it. They don't say the word bomb exactly, but Lee mentions, I got a package for them, and don't you worry, I studied demolition in the army.
Okay.
And it was like, holy shit, you're just gonna send this guy over to the Reverend with a fucking box bomb. That was I was surprised, but it's also like, that's putting Mike in danger. What if Mike doesn't know what it is? What if it went off early? Yeah, it shocked me a little bit that there was a bomb in this episode, but I I was like, I immediately thought these guys are nuts, and they're throwing Mike to the wolves. They're not very kind.
Oh, one boy I thought was fine. Maybe I'm just as crazy and don't know where most people like keep their insulin. When David gets the insulin out of the fridge, it was in the vegetable drawer, or with
Oh
all the
yeah,
vegetables. I was like, wait, what? Why is it with the vegetables?
that's the thing. This is a 16-year-old raising his 10-year-old brother. They don't buy vegetables. They got no reason for that drawer but insulin. They just
Well, the thing is,
eat.
there was vegetables in there. In there, and he had to move vegetables around to get the insulin in bottle. I'm like, wait, what?
He's hiding it amongst the roughage. Yeah, it was funny seeing not only the interactions between David and Bobby, the little kid, was very cute, and then like joking about, oh, you shouldn't worry so much, you'll get wrinkles, and like smiling at him and stuff. But also like the fact that they have this scene with Mike and Bobby. Mike screams at Bobby and then immediately kind of turns around and calms down and says like, look, I'm just scared. I didn't mean that. I love you. You know I love you. And it was just this really tender, out of left field moment. We've barely seen these two characters talk. And then you get a scene like that where he's essentially flipping out at him and then immediately explaining that he shouldn't have done that, didn't mean what he said, he's just scared. And it's like, it just reminds me of like a lot of lessons could be learned from watching the Hulk. And if you have these moments where, you've heard the whole fear turns to hate turns to anger, something about the dark side. It's a thing with toxic masculinity that it's nice to see represented in an episode like this, and see that, the 16-year-old, if we can call him that, brother, admitting that he's flying off the handle and he's just scared. It's a nice little moment.
Another thing I thought was nice in the episode is the African bracelet that keeps getting moved from character to character or the episode. Yeah. I thought that was wholesome. Awesome. See, it showed how all of these people care about each other so much.
Yeah, it's like it takes a village kind of thing. If they're all kind of in this crime riddled state, an area where it's easy to turn to crime because of how tough things are. It's like it's the same reason why gangs form. Like the same thing. It's the camaraderie. It's the everybody taking care of each other, and it's tough to pick a side in that way. But it's also tough to villainize them entirely, because it's like things get tough in tough situations, as I'm sure the whole world can feel right now with the rise in prices and everything. I'm about to hit up a liquor store in like 2 minutes. Like, if you want to join me, if you want to come up here to Canada, the two of us can bum rush the cashier, get a whole bunch of wine. Let's do it.
So is there anything else about this episode that you want to talk about? I'm trying to think of anything else that happened. I don't remember anything else that happened.
David kind of chewing out Mike for being a bad father. The line where he's like, "You've been doing a good job, but you're 16 years old, even though you look older." I was thinking in my head, did Bill Bixby improvise that line because he clearly looks like a 30-year-old man? Or maybe Bixby was like, no one's gonna believe this unless I make a point to really say something. I enjoyed that a lot. But other than that, what did you think of the do you think that Oscar and DJ, do you think that there's some love between them? Do you think there's some hope? Remember when Oscar didn't come into the club and then he came back at the right moment and they hugged?
Although I do think that Oscar was more just like, he just shows up when everything's almost complete to make himself seem like a hero. I think more or likely was what's going on.
Fuck you, Oscar. You're a fraud.
It's like, yeah, I came back. Yeah, everything's definitely not all done yet, right?
Yeah. This one was a blast. Honestly, getting to come back to the show is always a good time, and getting to take a letting life take a back seat and just diving into some entirely different time sphere and a fantasy world. It's cool to see how the world was putting out shows like the shows I watch now, but in such a different time. It's fascinating to me. So I had a lot of fun with this one.
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoyed this episode a lot. Odd. I think it's just so much fun from start to finish. And I think there's great acting from everybody. And oh, it's just and it's also really cool to see a pre Ghostbusters Ernie Hudson, because I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever seen him in anything that happened before or Ghostbusters.
I'll be honest, I don't think I have either. I mean, I think the only other movie I grew up seeing him in, the only other movies other than Ghostbusters growing up, I saw him in Basketball Diaries, which came out after, which is an awesome movie if you haven't seen it. Really depressing, but very like true to form as far as what heroin addiction is like. And then another movie called Airheads, which is a ridiculous comedy with Steve Buscemi, Brendan Fraser, and Adam Sandler, all when they're
I've heard
really
about
young.
that.
You heard of that one?
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
They play like a failed rock band that is trying to make it big, so they infiltrate a radio station and with like water guns filled with pepper sauce and stuff, and so it's all fake, but it's like they're trying to do a hostage situation. It's so funny, and Ernie Hudson plays the captain, and he gets to be the captain for Chris Farley, which is a very funny combo.
I'm looking at his IMDb and see what else other than Ghostbusters I've seen him in. And apparently he was in an episode of Full House. Which is interesting.
Huh.
Which
Did he
I don't
did he play a convict? I'm trying to think of what Full House would have done with Ernie Hudson. He's either like a principal or
someone named so the name of his character is called Reggie the Sandman Martin.
Oh, he'd be a musician.
Maybe. And it's from an episode called Knock Yourself Out.
Huh.
Let's
Reggie the
see.
Sandman Martin.
He apparently he played a security guard in Batman the Animated Series or an episode.
I know he was the captain in Miss Congeniality and Miss Congeniality too.
Let's see.
Full House. I gotta know more about that episode. Full House is one of those shows too that like I loved that show as a kid, and then I tried to watch Fuller House, and then I was like, wait, was Full House always like this? And I'd go back and watch an old episode, and I was like, oh my god, how did I watch this? It's so cheesy. Holy shit. But family friendly, right? That's all it needs to be.
I actually feel like Fuller House might have been a little bit less family friendly, because like there were actually some episodes where they talked about sex in it, and which I was like I was surprised by, especially since the star of that is someone who now is like this crazy right wing Christian lady.
True DJ.
Yeah.
DJ Tanner. Oh,
And my favorite show, Psych. He played Gus's father for one episode, which is fun. Let's see what else. Else have I seen? He apparently played a Poseidon in Once Upon a Time.
What? That's pretty dope. Once Upon a Time's crazy, man. Like when you start out, the idea that you just said he played Poseidon, like I thought the show was about fairy tale characters. So it just keeps expanding. Oh, this year they're going to Neverland. This year they're going to Wonderland. This year Greek gods, Olympus. Okay, yep. Sure, man. Everybody gets reincarnated once.
I really enjoyed Once Upon a Time for a while until my mom started watching forward in the show without me, and once I came back, I was like, I don't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah, it's a lot like the show Lost for me, because you do a lot of flashbacks and stuff. You learn a lot.
That's also why I fell off watching The Walking Dead. As my mom started went forward in the show without me being there, and then when I come back, I'm just like, what? And what's going on?
Yeah. It's one of those shows too that's like so long lasting. It was on for 11 seasons. So it's like if you miss 2 seasons, suddenly they're like in a fully functioning society that doesn't seem to be any zombies anywhere, and you're like, wait, what did they cure it? Did they fix everything? It's like, no, they just got higher walls. It's like, all right.
Ernie Hudson and also appeared in the in a show called LA's Finest, which is a spinoff of the Bad Boys movies.
Oh
And
shit.
he um played the father of one of the leads, which was that lead was actually someone who was from Bad Boys too.
Oh shit.
That's cool.
I did not know that there was a spin-off
Yeah.
from the
Uh,
Bad Boys
uh,
movies.
it's a spin-off TV show. So about
Jessica Alba.
two women officers and in Los Angeles.
Holy shit, Jessica
Yeah.
Alba out kicking ass. I thought she became a fashion guru. I didn't know she was still acting. That's
Yeah,
dope.
she's
26
um
episodes. Okay.
and he's gonna be playing Combat Carl in Toy Story 5. Um and there's and the last thing that I recognize he's in is this is it's not a great film, but it's a this action comedy. Sorry, Nicolas Cage. It's called The Retirement Plan.
I do recognize that name. There was a time when I was on top of watching Nicolas Cage movies. Like there's too many. You go into like the deep dive of his stuff, and it's like he's having what some would say is like a reconnaissance right now with the type of stuff that he's getting. But for a long time, it was just the same movie, different day. A lot of action crap. That was unfortunate. Nothing quite as good as Face Off.
So he for like a decade he was mainly doing these direct to video films and mainly because he had a lot of debts to pay and but finally after paying back all the debts is when he started getting bigger films again like appearing in Spider-Man Iron Man Into the Spider-Verse
Right.
and
Yeah.
Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Mm-hmm. There was one. I'm trying to remember the name of it now. Mad something. Hang on, I'll find it. Nicolas Cage movie. Mad. Of course, typing in the word "mad" and Nicolas Cage just garners every time he was mad in a movie. So that's not it. Anyways, it's it's named Mandy. It's called Mandy. Sorry, I was
Yeah,
thinking the word "mad" just as
I
the cover.
haven't
And he's
seen that yet, but I've
it's
heard it's
dark.
really good.
It's like a drug. Like if you there's so many movies out there where if you don't want to take psychedelics, you could just watch this movie instead. Fear and Loathing Las Vegas is one of them. If you want to experience something that's as close as they can get to psychedelics, but Mandy is definitely close. I'd say that it's a sleeper. It like if you can get into it, turn off all the lights, shut off your phone, and really get into the story of it. You want him to succeed by the end. It's a revenge story, and it's fucking brutal, but it's like highly drug inspired. So I would highly recommend it if you like that kind of thing, and if you don't shy away from serious
Highly
violence.
drug inspired is an interesting way to describe a movie.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, if you want to, there's 90% of movies are probably mildly drug inspired. So the highly drug inspired ones are the ones where you can tell. Yeah.
I feel like there might have been a little bit of drug inspiration with Color Out of Space.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Of course, any
Oh
kind of
God.
like that style of what's the author that is
Lovecraftian.
definitely inspired. Thank you. That Lovecraftian look is certainly a whole drug tree onto its own. Yeah. Don't do drugs. Don't
And
do drugs.
there's so many wild lines in that film.
Oh yeah. That's a good one for just like an acting challenge of
It's
like, okay,
like
what do you think Nicolas Cage thinks he's doing?
I like I love how like I got you to react to that film, even though you never released the
I
reaction. You
never
still
released it.
got
I know.
and you
It's hiding in my
and then,
Google Drive.
but you did send me like the particular scene that I was like I want to see you react to this. Which like the only reason I had which I've watched the film now, so I know how much more crazy it gets, but like that but the reason I knew about that scene with him milking I think alpacas was because I watched a review of the film from this YouTuber called Elvis the Alien who made a big point about that scene. I just found it absolutely hilarious. It's so weird the scene. In
It is.
like like the way he says boobs in it is just hilarious to me because like he says it
He
in
whispers it.
this sensual tone,
Yeah.
and even if he wasn't saying it in a sensual tone, uh, uh that is a weird way to describe I the um nipples of something you're milking.
I've just found because I was planning at the time to do a bunch of releases of like me reacting to horror movies, and it just became such a ridiculously challenging project to do, just because editing is such a time consumer. But I did find the clips of me reacting to the boobs line, and yeah, he just kind of whispers it. The mic barely picks it up. He's like boobs, and it's like there was an afterthought, but it's a fantastic movie, And if you've never seen Dream Scenario, that is another one that he came out. Looks like a totally different guy, which is some of my favorite roles where he really just disappears into the character. It's very good acting on his part.
Dream Scenario is like one for me. Like I loved the first half, and then the second half kind of lost me. I was just like, this is not as good. I was like more interested in the horror element and of it than him going down a rabbit hole, becoming a right wing influencer.
Oh my god. Yeah, you're making me want to
Like
watch it again just to remember that part.
like the first half where we're like actually like seeing him in people's dreams and like getting that horror aspect, I was like, this is really interesting. But then like the second half is we just get this where it's just like the aftermath of this and people being angry at him and trying to get a career somewhere else. I was like, this is not what I came to see for this film.
I feel like that could be said about every single one of his movies too. That's the thing. It's like this is not what I came to see.
I went into the film thinking it was gonna be basically a Nicolas Cage as Freddy Krueger, and it's like, no, that's not what the film is at all.
You know what? They should pursue that idea as well. There's also it's called Wally's World or something.
Yeah, Willy's Wonderland and
Willy's Wonderland. Yes, that shit
I
made me and my wife howl laughing.
That film is so much fun, but I still wish though that they had him talk in it, because I'm like,
True.
To me, I'm like, I just think so much of Nicolas Cage's performance is his voice and his
True.
personalities. I feel like you lose something if you don't have him talk.
I think you're right. I think that there is, to him, probably an acting challenge there where he's looking to try and break free of that. But like, have you ever seen the movie Drive with Ryan Gosling?
I have not. I've heard heard that it's good.
It's a blast, and he maybe says 10 words, and it's one of those characters that's like, the joke is that they're laconic, they are so rarely speaking. So I think that, you know, maybe Nicolas Cage looked at that opportunity and was like, yeah, I've never tried not talking. Give that a shot.
I think my favorite though films from him in recent years is both Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent and Renfield. I thought it was so much fun him being Dracula.
Yeah, he played Dracula in the perfect kind of movie for him to play Dracula. Like
Yeah.
it was a perfect, like an action comedy horror combo soup. It was like that's where we need Nicolas Cage for this kind of direction.
Oh yeah.
And he'd wanted to for a long time, if I remember correctly. He was like dying to play Dracula. So, and he took a lot from, you can tell by the way that he even looks, the makeup wise, he took a lot from Christopher Lee's portrayal in the, I think it's the 60s, that he did most of his Draculas.
They also like literally did a flashback scene in the film that I think like placed his face and his Dracula into a scene from like one of the old Dracula films to try and say that this is a sequel to that.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. It's been a while since I've seen Renfield, but I think I remember hearing something about that at the time.
Yeah. Well, I think we've talked everything about this Hulk episode, so I'm gonna wind down this episode. Thank you everyone for listening. If you like this gamma analysis, please give a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or a 5-star rating on Spotify. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the episodes, so please let me know. If you'd like to listen more from me, please subscribe. Many more gamma analysis from me coming, so keep on the lookout. This is again your host, Master John, signing off.